I've used grow bags for many years, and while I love their portability and their versatility, the one thing I don't love, watering them. Today I'm going to show you how I put my grow bags on automatic drip irrigation so all the watering is done for me. The great thing about grow bags is their drainage. Root rot can be a big problem with container gardening, especially with heavy rain or accidental overwatering. But like most things in life, its best quality can also be a drawback. I found that grow bags drain so well that I often have to water them more frequently. And because a fast watering session means that water tends to shed out the side of the bag instead of staying in the soil, the process takes even more time. I have to water, wait, and then water. Doing this every day throughout the growing season can get monotonous. Because slow watering will retain most of the water in the grow bag better to be able to get to the plant's roots, I was thinking that drip irrigation would actually be a perfect solution. And then if I put it on automation, then that would reduce the amount of time that I have to spend hand watering each year. In the past, I've used these 7-gallon grow bags to grow most of my crops, even my larger crops, but I found that I was having to water them all the time. That's why I decided to switch to 15-gallon bags to see if I would have a better time with not only the water issue, but also to be able to get a bigger harvest. But I took it one step further. When I went to buy these 15-gallon grow bags from Epic Gardening, I actually chose the lined bags because with lined bags, the water shedding should hopefully not be as big of a problem. But another nifty feature in these lined grow bags is this pocket on 3 sides of the grow bags. Not only does it make the drip lines almost camouflage, but the slow irrigation of the drip lines themselves will promote less water shedding. If your grow bags don't have this pocket that I'm showing you, no worries, my process will still apply, and here's how I put it all together. The first thing that I did was situate my grow bags in an area where I could easily tap into my existing irrigation. From there, I added a T-shaped connector to bring the water to the grow bags with a 3/4 inch poly tubing. I placed the tubing behind the line of grow bags and cut it to fit, attaching an end cap at the end. From there, I punctured a hole in the poly tubing near the drip line insert for the grow bag to get ready to connect the drip line. This whole process honestly reminded me of why I hate putting together irrigation. It's tedious and can be painful on the hands. I much prefer the Garden in Minutes garden grids, but last time I checked, they don't have an option for grow bags. One thing that I realized in this process that I had to make sure and do was use connector tubing, not the drip line with holes, to snake through the liner in the grow bag. I realized if I used the drip lines for this, the water would weep out that liner, which would have been a waste and unnecessary. So I used a connector tubing for that part, then added a connecting piece to secure the drip lines in the bag. I estimated letting the drip lines encircle the bag twice. I tried a couple of variations, one with the one tube encircling the bag and one with a T connector at the top of the lining, creating 2 tubes circling in opposite directions. I ended up not seeing a huge benefit to the T connector, and since I was running low on those, I decided to finish the job with the one connector. This was all definitely an example of learning as you go. With the plants being so small and the potting soil being so light, it was a bit difficult to secure the lines flat on the soil. I tried to pin them with landscape pins, but eventually I just did my best and decided not to worry if they weren't flat. As long as the water gets to the soil, that's what matters. After everything was connected, including the end cap to the end of each drip line, I turned on the water to ensure all worked well. I can't tell you how much relief it gave me to watch those bags being watered slowly with the drip lines. Once I put my automatic timer on the spigot, all I have to do is monitor the moisture level and adjust throughout the season as needed. But now that I have these drip lines in place, I will not have to worry about hand watering grow bags this season. If you're wondering where I got the supplies I used, much of it I had on hand from purchasing from local farm supply stores or Lowe's. Some, like the 3/4 inch poly tubing and connectors, I bought online from Drip Depot and Amazon. We'll link my Amazon favorites in the description so you can find what I have or similar if you want to create a setup similar to this one. I know some people love hand watering, but I enjoy my garden more when I can focus on tending to and harvesting the garden. To do that, putting as much as I can on automation is key. And one last thing, the reason I was fairly comfortable in installing this drip irrigation system is because I've been using drip lines on my garden for the past decade. That's not to say that I liked it, because it actually is quite cumbersome for me. For raised beds then, my favorite favorite way of irrigating is through the Garden in Minutes garden grid, and you can check out this video to learn more about those. I hope you've enjoyed this look at my setup, and if you want to put your grow bags or containers on automatic drip irrigation, I hope that you have found the information in this video helpful to help you do just that.